living generously? Yes, they can. But in order to do that, you must have a thriving business. There's lots of things that need to be in place. For example, you need to have a clear vision and mission. You need to have a great team, a team that has a transformational leader. You need to have a marketing plan. You need to know your marketing strategy. And you need to understand you have to have quality products and services. With all of that said, I think one of the most important things is that strong team. And within that team, you're going to need a transformational leader. I'm here today to talk about transformational leadership and the tenets of inspirational motivation. I am Her Excellency Dr. Theresa Ann Moseley, a WOMI United Nations Peace Ambassador, a retired educator after 27 years of service, a U.S. Army veteran, a 24-time best-selling author, 4-time international best-selling author, owner and CEO of TAM Creating Ambassadors of Peace. And once again, I am a transformational leader. Now, one of the first tenets of transformational leadership and inspirational motivation is visioning. It's so important that the leaders in any organization, when you're developing the vision, that you make sure that all of the stakeholders are a part of that. Making everyone accountable by having them collaborate when developing this vision and make sure this vision is also regularly monitored. Are we doing what we say we're going to do? Visioning is so important. And once you have that vision, that goal set for your vision, make sure you have mission statement under that. Mission statements are what are you going to do to get to that vision? You know, in education, your vision might be to have all 100% of your students graduate from high school and go into college or the world of work. Or how are you going to get there? Our mission is to teach a curriculum that is rigorous and relevant, to monitor instruction, to communicate with parents on a regular basis, to reteach knowledge and skills that students are struggling with. So you have your vision and you have your mission. The next thing you have to do is make sure that you have systems and structures in place to monitor those vision and mission statements. Whether it's a monthly meeting, a quarterly meeting, an annual meeting where you talk about the year-long results. So important to monitor what you say you're going to do. Another tenet of inspirational motivation is being able to motivate and inspire your staff by having high expectations. Having high expectations means you are leveraging the strengths of your staff. You're leveraging the strengths of the people in your organization. You want to set people up for success, not failure. And if someone is failing at their job, our goal is to build them up, to motivate them, to figure out what has happened. How can we fix this? What support do you need? You don't want to lose good people because maybe they didn't meet their goal for one quarter. Another tenet is living by example. Having compassion and empathy for others is so important. I talk about soft skills a lot in another one of my books. You know, it's important that leaders understand that everybody needs support. You have to have empathy. You have to have compassion. You have to be adaptable. You have to be flexible, you know, and also you have to know how to problem solve. Problem solve is actually a soft skill. For example, I was in an organization, I worked in a school system, and one of the things that the teachers needed is more time to plan so that they can score benchmarks. So our goal is to make sure our children are college and career ready. And one way we do that is we give them quarterly benchmarks and we monitor where they are. What are their strengths and what are their weaknesses? Well, they couldn't get that done in an hour and a half of collaborative planning. So I said, okay, let me think outside the box for a minute. How many students do you have in the math class each month? About 220. I said, okay, let's take those kids to the auditorium. I'll teach them maybe how to write a 5-paragraph essay. I'll teach them something. And then you guys can have the time to collaborative plan. Now, how many days do you need? I said, we need 3 days. Okay, then I'll take the kids 3 days. I'll put my assistant principals in charge of the building. And then that way you guys have time to monitor or time to score the benchmarks and then discuss and analyze the data. That is a creative way of problem solving. And so it's very important that if you want to have a successful organization, that you make the time, you create the structures and the systems to monitor what you say you're going to do. Another tenet of inspirational motivation and transformational leadership is supporting professional development. In every organization, you are going to have some new people, some seasoned people, some people that are in the middle. You need to know how to differentiate instruction. You need to know how to provide professional development to meet the needs of everyone in your staff. For example, in education, if we have new teachers coming in, we would have a new teacher academy. And that's when we would talk about the basic things like how to develop a lesson plan, how to use the curriculum to align it with the Common Core standards or the state standards, how we communicate on a regular basis, what are our systems and structures in place in our building that we use on a regular basis. For example, team planning, collaborative planning, team meetings, department meetings, faculty meetings. And then systemically, as principals, we had systemic principals meetings. Then we had high school principals meetings. So those fixed systems and structures in place were all put in place so that we could also have professional development for the leaders, the principals, and also the leaders for the people in your building, for example, the department chairs. So having professional development opportunities can also help build the capacity of your business. You need to have ongoing professional development. Another thing that you can do is encourage innovation and creativity. You know, when I took the kids for the first time for collaborative planning, the next quarter I didn't have to because the team came together with a collaborative plan to score the benchmarks without using me for 3 days. So always encourage innovation and collaboration in your organization. It actually works. Collaboration and creativity is also one of the soft skills that I talk about all the time. It's very important that people understand that soft skills are essential in leading with grace. Another essential soft skill is communication. Transformational leaders are experts in communicating. You not only listen with your ears, but you listen with your eyes. You're great active listeners. Listen to what's being said and what's being not said. And if you're in a group, look at the group dynamics. Always have an agenda. Always have an agenda with time limits. Note what people like to talk a lot. What are the silent members in the who are the silent members in the group? And try to encourage collaboration and give everyone a response opportunity. And also, this is so important. When someone responds to something, provide some feedback. When someone makes a statement and no one says anything and there's this blank silence, it's kind of an awkward feeling for the person who spoke up. So always provide some kind of feedback to anyone that is communicating, especially in a group setting. A transformational leader encourages team spirit. Celebrate the wins, celebrate each other. You know, in education, we would have the teacher of the month, the student of the month. In your business, you might have something similar, but it's so important that you celebrate the small wins or the big wins. Its celebration is very key to motivate others to be the best that they can be. Be adaptable and resilient. Adaptability and resilience will help you on your way to success in your organization. I remember as a high school principal, I lost two students to violence, and it was one of the worst feelings I've ever had in my life to lose students to violence. And my teachers were upset, my students were upset, but I had one teacher in particular that was very loquacious. She would always laugh and walk around making people feel better, but I could see that she was in a really dark place. So I called her into my office and I sat her down and I said to her, "How can I help?" And she said, "What?" I said, "I noticed that you're just not yourself. We know we lost our kids, but what can I do? Do you need some time? Do I need to cover your class?" And also, this is active listening. So she didn't tell me anything. I saw that she needed to have a conversation. And then she shared with me that she was very close to the student, one of the students that had passed away. And she talked about how, you know, she knew his family and she just didn't know how she was going to be able to walk in her class and not see him and feel okay. And I shared with her that although I was a first year principal, I made it a goal to meet all my students. And I met him one time in the hallway for 15 minutes. He's a really tall guy, he played football, and very attractive guy, very smart, and just a really nice guy. And I said to him, what do you like to do? I was telling her the story so that I could know that she's not alone. And he said, I like to play football. I said, are you good? He said, yes, ma'am. And so I said, that same work ethic that you put in playing football and, strength and conditioning, put that same ethic in your academics and you'll go far. What do you want to do? Because I want to go to college and I want to play pro ball. I want to buy a house for my mom and take care of my family. I said, that's a great goal, but you need to work hard to get there. I would never shut down anybody's dream. Furthermore, this guy was just that good that he could have played NFL ball. So anyway, we talked and laughed for about 15 minutes and, I thanked him, for his time. And I said, okay, now let's get to class. And I told the teacher as he walked down the hall, one tear rolled down my cheek. And by the time he turned the corner, I was full blown tears. I went back to my office and I cried, and I just didn't know what that's about. But I do have the gift of intuition, and I was feeling something. And I told the teacher 2 weeks later, I got the phone call that he was deceased. He died to violence, gunshot. And that hurt me. That still till this very day, I think about this child every day. But when she heard me speak of him and know that I'm feeling the same way she is, but I'm coming to work every day, I'm trying to support everybody, she says, I'm going to be okay. I just needed to talk about this. I said, you sure you don't need me to cover your class? She says, no, I got this. And she went back to her class to teach. I had compassion for her. I had empathy for her. I communicated with her. I saw without talking to her that she needed to have a conversation. And we were resilient. We started a campaign for no more violence, one school, one community, one county at a time, one city, one state, one nation at a time. And that actually birthed my business, TAM Creating Ambassadors of Peace. I said, I want to do something to make this world a more better place. I believe that people, if they live in their divine assignment, they will be successful, fulfilled, prosperous, and have inner peace. So when I retired from education, I started my business, and now I speak around the world on how you can make this world a more better place and how you can use your gifts and talents to make a difference in the lives of others. I believe in the Japanese philosophy around purpose. And if you're leading a business, I pray that that is your purpose in life, whatever that business is. But if there's something that the world needs and you're good at it, then that's your mission in life. And if you really love to do something in your business, like you love to work every day in your business and you're passionate about it, oh, that's your passion, yes. And if you're blessed enough to have something that the world needs, you're passionate about it, and you work that job, you own that business, and that is your purpose. That's where you'll find success, fulfillment, prosperity, and inner peace. And as a business leader, you set the example. You want to be peaceful at work. You want to have a culture and climate that's peaceful at work. And the best way to do that is to make sure that everybody in your building, in your organization, in your school knows that you care, knows that you are compassionate, knows that you are there, not with a top-down leadership, but a horizontal leadership where there's shared decision making and where you can make everybody a part of your team feel like they can be successful. Now, don't get it wrong. There's some organizations like manufacturing might need a top-down organizational structure. But I found success in having horizontal decision making and open door policy and open communication and collaboration. Let's talk about this again. Transformational leadership. You have to have a clear vision and mission. You have to have goals. You make sure that you have core values and beliefs. Be adaptable, be resilient, celebrate one another, and make sure that all your employees have a professional development plan. Have time, make time to provide professional development and differentiate that. This is so important. Yes, you can live generously. You can live and lead in a business and be prosperous. You can be successful, fulfilled, and have inner peace if you're living in your purpose. I am Her Excellency, Dr. Theresa Ann Moseley. I want to leave you with this. Life is but a short road to our ultimate destiny. Make peace, have compassion, and learn to love before you get there. Peace and blessings.